James was a man who carried the weight of a deep resentment. Years ago, he had been betrayed by someone he considered a close friend. The betrayal had left him with a wound that time alone couldn't heal. It wasn't just the loss of the friendship that hurt him, but the way it had shattered his trust in others. Over the years, this bitterness had grown within him, affecting his relationships and even his outlook on life. James had always been a person of faith, but after the betrayal, he found it increasingly difficult to turn to prayer. Whenever he tried, his heart would be consumed by anger and pain. He knew that holding on to this resentment was eating away at his peace, but he didn't know how to let go. Forgiveness felt impossible, and so the hurt remained, festering in the depths of his soul. One evening, after a particularly difficult day, James decided to attend a service at his local church. The sermon that night was about the power of forgiveness and the freedom it brings. The pastor spoke about how holding on to grudges was like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. These words struck a chord with James, and for the first time in years, he felt a glimmer of hope that maybe, just maybe, he could find a way to heal. After the service, James approached the pastor, sharing his struggle. The pastor listened patiently and then suggested that James start by praying for the person who had wronged him. It won't be easy, the pastor admitted, but prayer can be the first step toward releasing the burden you've been carrying. Even if you don't feel it right away, just start by asking God to help you forgive. James hesitated, unsure if he could genuinely pray for someone who had caused him so much pain. But that night, he decided to give it a try. His first prayer was halting and awkward, filled with hesitation and doubt. He didn't feel any immediate change, but he kept returning to prayer, asking God to help him find the strength to forgive, even if he didn't know how. Days turned into weeks, and slowly, James began to notice a shift within himself. The anger that had once consumed him began to lose its grip. The prayers that had started as a mere exercise in obedience became more heartfelt, and James found himself slowly softening toward the idea of forgiveness. It wasn't just about letting go of the past. It was about freeing himself from the chains of resentment that had held him captive for so long. One day, while sitting quietly in his living room, James realized that the bitterness he had held on to for so many years had begun to dissolve. It wasn't gone completely, but it no longer defined him. He could think about the person who had hurt him without the sharp sting of anger. He even found himself praying for their well-being, something he never imagined he could do. Encouraged by this transformation, James decided to reach out to his former friend. He wasn't sure what to expect or if they would even respond, but he felt that it was an important step in his journey. He sent a simple message, expressing his desire to move past the hurt and to let go of the resentment. To his surprise, the friend responded with a heartfelt apology, admitting their own regrets and expressing a wish to reconcile. This exchange didn't instantly restore their friendship, but it opened the door to healing. James realized that forgiveness didn't mean forgetting what had happened or excusing the wrong, but it did mean choosing not to let it control his life any longer. Through prayer, he had found the strength to forgive, and in doing so, he had reclaimed his peace and joy. James' story is a powerful reminder that forgiveness is a journey, often difficult and filled with obstacles, but ultimately freeing. Prayer can be the guiding light on this path, helping to soften the heart and release the burdens of the past. By choosing to forgive, James not only healed his own wounds, but also opened the possibility for new beginnings and deeper connections. His story shows that through prayer, forgiveness, and a willingness to let go, we can find true freedom and peace.